Hello, welcome back to my eBay workbench. It's Sunday night. We have orders to pick for today and for yesterday, so Saturday and Sunday. And things seem to be getting back on track. We have 8 or 9 packages to make tonight. And hopefully another one will come in because I did have an auction that went off tonight, or it went off last night, and I'm still waiting for payment to come from that buyer. And I'm wondering if anybody has experienced this, because I don't really do auctions too often unless there's a really good reason for it. Or in this case, not even the best reason. I just didn't want to spend the time to do research on the values of these Nintendo Switch games. So I just sold them at auction. I knew they would sell and I'd get a good price for them. So that's why I went ahead and did the auction. But this buyer has still not paid. It's been probably 26 hours, something like that, since that auction went off. It's about 8:30 now, so that auction ended at 8 o'clock yesterday, so 24 hours and 30 minutes. I always hear eBay's talking about how now they're going to make it so that buyers who submit offers have to pay immediately, and then buyers who win auctions are going to be required to pay immediately. And so far, that hasn't been my experience. So I'm not sure if I have some setting turned on wrong, or if eBay is just rolling this thing out where certain people have access to automatic payments and other people don't. I just know I've been hearing about it for at least 2 years, and so far I have not experienced it. So if anybody knows anything about that, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on automatic payments and how I can get them to happen, because I don't want this auction to have ended and then I'm never going to get paid for it, and then I'm going to have to run the auction again. I want this money. Today's the 30th. I'm trying to reach a goal for the month of March, which has been a struggle this month. Sales have been slow. And this auction, which is over $100, I think it's $105.50, will definitely put me over my goal for the month. So I need this money to come in tonight or tomorrow night in order to have reached my goal for the month. So any ideas about automatic payments, please leave them in the comments. Any ideas about auctions? I mean, they don't seem to be a very good idea in most circumstances, but every once in a while you might have a reason to run one. Please leave those comments, but let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to picking these orders. Okay, no messing around. We're just going to get these orders picked and do it as quickly as we can, because it's Sunday night and I don't want to be here for too long. I want to get this done and get to bed. I have to get up for work in the morning. Let's go to the eBay app, see what's sold. Hopefully this auction will get paid for before we're done packing, so that we can get it shipped out with everything else. But if not, we'll wait until tomorrow and see where we are. Okay, start at the bottom, and then we're going to pick all these orders, get these items out of my inventory. And let's see, I'm going to grab this basket to take with me in case I need it. There are some smaller items. Most of these things should be pretty simple packs. Maybe 1 or 2 more difficult ones. Okay, BR8A, which is this one here. BR8A, this corner. Some photos and listing new items, and I was running out of space to put some things, so this will give me at least a little bit of space. Okay, next up, I've got my camera. I got my flash on this phone for some reason. Next up, this is in Cube 1D. This is a replacement piece for a Super Mario Brothers Monopoly game. We'll talk about these items as we go through packing them, and we'll figure out what kind of profit we're making on everything, and we'll see what the net profit for the entire day is at the end. Okay, we've got a bunch of manga books here. Oshi no Ko Volume 2. Oshi no Ko. These are not in any kind of order. Maybe I should have put them in alphabetical order. This is Volume 2. Next up, BR3. That's in the bedroom. BR3. This is a skinny little book. Is it going to be in one of these? Is it skinny enough to be in one of these folders? I don't think so. All right, let's pull this out and see. Okay, maybe it is in one of these plastic sleeves. I don't think so. I don't feel like it would be. These are mostly lots of comics or magazines. It's not this, not this, not this. Okay, I'm gonna cut this while I look, and then I'll be back in a second. Okay, I found it instantly after turning the camera off. So that's one book. One more book out of that bookshelf. That's good. I'm trying to get some of this extraneous. I don't really like these double stacks, so I'm trying to get some of that stuff cleared out to make more room. Unfortunately, this book is very, very skinny. Doesn't take up much space at all. Okay, we've got a jersey here that's in W1B. It's down here. This one I have had for a long time. And it's right here. Put that in the basket. I think I've had that since 2023. Yeah. Okay, H4. Okay, I've got this setup isn't very good where I have H4. I have H5 sitting on top of H4 and I have to remove it. So I want to find a way to make another shelf on top of this shelving unit, but I don't know that I'm going to find the exact right size to put another shelf up there. Maybe I'll find a whole new shelf that's taller and I'll be able to get rid of this completely. This is some kind of a blood glucose monitoring kit. Okay, this one. I didn't know if this was going to sell quickly or not, but it sold a little faster than I thought it would. It's a little bit precarious here, but I think it's fine. This little footstool, I'm going to have to take this apart. Shoot, I thought it was screws, but I'm going to have to get a wrench. This is nuts. I want to take that apart to ship it flat. Okay, what's next? Let's turn off my notifications for the time being. Okay, this is the last one. This one's going to be a little bit of a struggle. These are antique radio classified magazines. They're little sort of homemade zine looking things. And it's from 1990. I've got the whole year. I have a bunch more of these that I haven't gotten listed yet because these were selling so slowly, but they have sold. I mean, I'm sure I've made my money back on that buy. I'll talk about it in a minute. Put everything back, and now we should be ready to pack. Okay, let's start with the magazines. We'll go in reverse order here. Okay, these are antique radio classified magazines. This I went to an estate sale. This has a little strap on it that says 1990. This is the whole year of 1990, so there should be 12 issues here. This was like a way for people who collect old radios or repair old radios to communicate with each other about what they have to sell and what they're looking to buy. And there's some sort of news articles in there as well. So I got these from an estate sale, and there was, most of the time you go to those estate sales and they're having it because someone passed away, and they're sad. They're sad and they're depressing, and they're probably not. It's probably not a good thing to do, to go to those sales. I mean, you try to. I guess in some way you're helping out the families, clearing things out, but I don't know. It's not great. Anyway, I went to this sale. The man who passed away seemed to have been a radio repair person. There was lots and lots of vacuum tubes. I thought there might be some value in them, but I didn't know how to research that when there are thousands of something, and every one is different. There's so many different versions of the same thing that I pretty much skipped looking at those. There were a lot of people there who were radio enthusiasts who were looking, because there were also a lot of vintage radios there for sale. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. It it was a sale where they didn't hire an estate sale company. It was the family trying to sell everything themselves. And that's extra sad. And oftentimes the families are kind of emotionally attached to these items. Radio. And they don't necessarily know how to just let things go. So there was the son of the man who had died was there. He was probably in his late 30s, maybe around late 30s. And nothing had prices on it. And every time anybody asked about something, he was looking it up, Googling it, or asking, or searching it on eBay, which isn't ideal for that kind of a sale. You know, you really just want things. People are going to those sales looking for good prices, not for eBay prices. You know, in my case, I'm trying to buy stuff in order to sell it on eBay, so I can't pay him what people are on eBay are paying. So anyway, I looked around there for quite a while, and I didn't really see much that I wanted, but there was an entire bookshelf filled with these magazines, and I was asking him how much he could take for the entire lot. He couldn't really give me a price. He just kept waffling on it, and I understood. Like, I wasn't sure if I even wanted them, if there was really a market for them or not. So he told me that he'd have to think about it, and I was just like, okay, well, I guess we're probably done here. I'm going to grab a socket set. I have one right here. I've been doing some cleaning and rearranging here of my books. This is a bookshelf I got yesterday. Of my boxes. So it should be a little bit easier to find things when I need them. Right here I have a socket set. So I'll grab that. So anyway, at some point he started looking up how much these magazines were worth. And he was going directly to the website of the company that produced them. So he was telling me that he has to get at least $5 a piece for them because that's how much they sell them on the Antiques Radio Collectors, whatever, I can't remember what it's called, on their website, which there's no way that I could pay that $5 a piece. I think I was offering him maybe $50 for the entire selection that he had there. Well, where's my... Oh, is this it? No. There should be a adapter from this size to that size, but there isn't, so I'm going to have to use this. I was going to just use the screwdriver. This calls it a spinner on this case. And I'm going to have to use an extension because I won't be able to reach down there with this between these legs. Okay, let's take this apart. So in the end, I can't remember exactly what I paid for the entire lot, but this particular here, after I averaged it all out, I came to about $3.25 per year. So I've had these for a long time. I've been like slowly lowering the prices on them as time goes on, trying to get them out of here. And I got an offer on this set today for $20. I think I had them listed for $24.99. I took this offer today and sold these. But I probably have, I don't know if I had 30 years worth of these things, and I probably still have half of them that I never got around to listing. This was kind of early on when I was listing stuff. How long ago was this? October of 2023 is when I bought those. There's some washers. So this was kind of early on when I was starting to take eBay seriously again, getting back into it. And I maybe didn't really know much about proper pricing or supply and demand issues. So I probably never should have bought these, but I also didn't really know how to go about listing stuff so well. So I was really putting a lot of details in the description of these magazines. I think every single magazine I went through and I copied down the names of all of the radios that were mentioned in them, thinking that people would be searching for those radios and then they would find my magazines. And then I found out that eBay descriptions don't work that way. That unless somebody is doing a deep search in eBay, then it does not include, it does not include the description. It only includes the title and the item specifics fields. And then if they do a advanced search, that's when they get to search the description. So I put all that effort into writing up those descriptions when I absolutely did not have to. This is a little dirty in here where the legs were, so I'm going to grab a wet rag and wipe it out. I cleaned it before, but I couldn't get underneath where the legs are. So we'll take care of that now. Okay, so in that closet right there, there's a big bag, a grocery bag full of antique radio collectors, magazines. I think I've probably sold 10 or 12, maybe 8 or 10, I'm not sure. That crate, this little crate right here, was full of them at one point, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years worth left in there. So I should get those other ones out and get them listed. Most of the time I've sold them to somebody, or sometimes when I sold them, I've sent a message to the buyer saying, you know, I have a lot more of these and I'm willing to make a deal, and I've never had anybody take me up on that. Okay, that's garbage. All right, this stool, little Costco stool, these, you probably see the ones that are like, they look sort of like high chairs. And they have a little step stool that folds out of it, but you can also sit in it. No. Those are very collectible and sell pretty well. This little single step stool is not quite as sought after, but still not too bad. If people do want them, I sold this one, so. This one came from, let's see, I don't know what these numbers mean. Columbus, Indiana, made in the USA, so it's pretty old. 11204, this is probably a date code, but I don't know what it means. I don't know, I think they made them pretty much exactly the same from the 40s to the, maybe they still make them, I'm not sure. Anyway, I got this from, I talked about it quite a while ago, or plenty of times a while ago. This estate sale. It was an estate sale with no prices, where they had run out of. They had already run out of sale 3 days or whatever, and then they just needed to get that house cleaned out, so they just opened the doors and let anybody come in. I called it a ransack. And it wasn't as wildly intense as some other open sales I've seen like that. There were very few people there considering. I have this bag with a bunch of this larger bubble wrap out here. I didn't even know I had it. I found it yesterday while I was cleaning that, while I was organizing those boxes. So I'm going to try to use this up and get it moved out of here. Will this go this way? No, it goes this way. So I'm going to fill this box up pretty well with these bubbles, because I have them and I don't necessarily need to keep them, so we'll just keep it moving. Okay, I'm going to grab a couple more pieces. Anyway, I saw that stool there, little footstool, and I knew those larger ones were in high demand. So I grabbed it. If everything is free, why wouldn't you grab it? And I cleaned it up, took some photos of it. Somebody eventually wanted it. I sold it for $41.39 after that was in the middle of February, that sale, February 9th. So this probably got listed maybe even in March. Might have taken me a while to get around to listing it. So this sold in less than a month for $41, and I didn't pay anything for it. It came from that house. But if you see those tall stools, I mean, I don't know how to describe them to you. I'm just hoping you know what I'm talking about. They were very common at one time. Everybody's kitchen had one. Anyway, they are still pretty well sought after. You could sell them for a couple $100, but they are, you know, how are you going to ship it? That's the concern. I just got like a pants press, like for a dry cleaning shop. I paid $15 or $17 for it, and I probably shouldn't have, because now I got to deal with it, and I'm going to sell it. It sells for about $200, but it's big, you know. It's probably 3 or 4 feet tall, and it's going to take up a lot of space, and I have to find a good box for it, and then ship it for a couple $100. Just will this fit? No, that'll fit in there. Okay, I'm gonna put a little extra paper around here just for the sake of it, but I mean, this thing is steel. It's not gonna get too damaged. But I would want it to be, if I was buying it, I would want it to be immobilized inside this box. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Okay. Great. I have access to a lot of boxes this size. These come from my work, and they're good for things like VCRs, but not a whole lot else. I took a whole bunch of them home, maybe 12 or 15 of them, and then there was something going on at work where we needed to recycle a lot of things, and we needed to put them in boxes so that we could put them in the recycle bin without anyone being able to see exactly what we were recycling. And so I had to bring a lot of them back. But I do still have a few more in here. Okay, I'm covering up these labels, packing list labels. I haven't seen a packing list in this style before. Usually the packing list is going to be on the outside of the box, so you're not tempting any delivery people or whatever to see what's actually inside of the box that they're delivering. So anyway, $41 for that. It's not going to send anyone to college, but it's a decent amount. Okay, what's the bottom look like? I'm going to put another piece of tape on here. I typically do cover all of the seams of a used box to make sure that it's okay. Okay, this is a stool. Okay, we're only on item number 2, and it's already been about 15 or 20 minutes. 4 pounds, 15 ounces. That's good. Keep it under 5. This should be 22. No, this is only 19. I thought these boxes were... I thought whoever made these boxes planned them to be exactly under the surcharge, the USPS length surcharge, but they're even smaller than that. So I thought they were going to be 22 inches. Okay, who's this going to? TB in Ohio, so not too far. Shouldn't be outrageously expensive to ship this. I'm gonna get it out of the way for now. Okay, where did I put my basket? Okay, this thing. I got this at the Goodwill, I believe. Yeah, the Goodwill. This was in July, so we're, I don't know, maybe I've had this for 6 or 7 months, and it is a kit for measuring the glucose level of your blood. And it's still has, I mean, everything in here is sealed. The device still has the protective plastic over the screen of it, so obviously never been used. But I was hesitant with some medical supplies, medical equipment gets shut down on eBay pretty regularly, and I didn't know if this would qualify for that. But I did see other sales of it, so I went ahead and grabbed it for $4 only, and it was selling for about $75 to $80. So that's a pretty good turnaround, $4 into 70. But I've had it for quite a while. It didn't sell for whatever reason. Maybe because it's open, the packaging is open. Anyway, I sent out an offer on it today, 10% off offer. And it sold for $65.99 plus shipping. Okay, let's get some paper around it. I probably should have kept it for myself. I'm supposed to be checking my glucose levels every day, and I kind of gave up on it when it was never changing. I was having a stressful period, and I went to the doctor afterwards because my feet were feeling strange, and I thought this is going to be diabetes. And the doctor said, absolutely not. There's no way you could have diabetes. And then he did some blood tests and said, yeah, you have diabetes. So he, I can't remember exactly what my A1C level was at the time, but he was like, we need to get you on this metformin right away, and we need to get you to control your diet and all this stuff. And I went pretty extreme, maybe too extreme, cutting out all carbs basically. And I was working out probably at least 3 hours every day, maybe more. Walking and running and lifting weights and everything. And then within just like 2 months, I had a perfectly normal A1C level. And I was checking it all the time, checking my, pricking my fingers, checking my blood all the time. And never, ever after the first couple of weeks of changing my diet was it going back up again. I'm gonna write on here glucose. And then after about 2 years of that, this is 1 pound, 14 ounces. After about 2 years of that, I took a step off of my stairs and somehow just missed. I don't know exactly why, but I broke my foot basically right in half. And then that was like several months of not being able to do my workout stuff. So this is going to JZ, and this is the second JZ. I had one yesterday or 2 days ago. That's the initials of the buyer. I'll use that to match up the label when I print it later off of my thermal printer. Anyway, after I broke my foot, it put a damper on my whole routine, and I kind of gave up on all of my exercising for a while, and I started drinking soda again and all this stuff. So I'm doing bad right now. I have not checked my blood sugar in a while, but it's feeling like it's time to get back on track. It's easy to do when you have a team to do it with. But also, I gotta not be so extreme, because last time, 3 or 4 hours of exercise a day is not feasible, especially now when I'm spending my free time running a small business out of my basement. and 100% cutting out carbs is not going to be possible. It's not a good idea, I don't think. At some point my hair started falling out, and I think that was probably from deprivation, carbohydrate deprivation. My eyes were, I was having trouble with my eyes focusing. This needs to be reset. Okay, 10, 11 ounces. This is a jersey. It's from Canterbury, South African rugby team. Where did I get this? This came from the Salvation Army, and this was in December of 2023, so quite a long time ago. I should write jersey on here, but I'm writing rugby, and I forgot how much it weighs already. 10 ounces. 10 ounces. So I've had this for a long time now, a year and a half. And I thought, you know, everybody says these kind of these kind of jerseys sell well. I don't know which ones do and which ones don't. But this one took quite a while to sell. And I paid $3.49 for it. I sold it for $27 today, plus shipping. Let's see, where's it going? Is it going to Africa? No, it's going to Long Beach, California, to NC. Buyer's initials NC. For 26 bucks, it'll be fine in that bubble mailer. Okay. This book is called Inside the Sideshow Studio. This is about the Sideshow Collectibles company. They make, very high level action figures, essentially, statues and maquettes and things like that. So it's a nice looking book. I got it from a yard sale. I got several things from that yard sale, and some of them were, I'm not going to say that they were misrepresenting what they had, but they were selling some like board game things in the box, but they did not contain what the box said they did. So I bought some stuff. I think it was Magic the Gathering type stuff. And I just, they seemed like nice people. I thought they were selling me what they said they were. They probably didn't even know what they had. But when I got them home, it was not, what was printed on the outside of the box was not what was inside the box. So I kind of got taken on those items, but I also got this book there, and I didn't bother to look it up. It just seemed like something that would be somebody might want, so I didn't bother to look it up. But it's not worth anything. I had it listed for $7 or $8 for quite a long time. This is since July. I bought this in July last year, so not that long, I guess, but long enough. So I've had this 30% off books sale, but I don't think that included any books that were under $10. So this one finally sold for $6.99 plus shipping, which is, it's difficult to say if that's even worth packing and dealing with. But I mean, it's hard to spend money on something and then just write it off, as a mistake. So if I paid $1 for it, I got $6.99 for it. I'll make a little bit of profit on this, and it doesn't feel like I totally wasted my time and dollar on that sale. But probably not the kind of thing I would buy again. I mean, I definitely would not buy this again if I saw it. These people have I think they do 2 or 3 times a year. They'll have a yard sale in their front yard, and they are very friendly and nice. But some of their prices are pretty high. They have a lot of like jerseys from South American soccer teams, and they want like $35 and $40 a jersey, which I can't pay that at a yard sale. Be lucky to sell it for that on eBay. Okay, let's cover this label right here. I don't know what it means. And then this is going to say side show 1 pound, 1 ounce. Why couldn't it be under 1 pound? 1 pound, 1 ounce. It's going to be 11 by 10 by 1. And this is almost certainly going to go medium mail. I want this to ship as cheap as possible. AC in Delaware. Okay, up next, another book. This is a manga book. I got a bunch of these. I think I just sold one yesterday. I got a bunch of these at the Salvation Army. Maybe as much as 50 manga books there. And I talked about it in a previous video where the cashier, I was also buying some series of unfortunate events books, and the cashier wanted to talk to me about how those were her favorite books while she was growing up. And I think she either got distracted and didn't charge me for everything, or she was just taking it upon herself to give me a deal, because I think she only charged me for about half of the stuff that I bought. And so these manga books had a pretty low cost of goods, 85 cents a piece, which is good because they're not really, the ones I got are not exceptionally valuable. This is maybe only the second one I've sold, and I've had these since January. It's late March now. It's almost April, so I've had these for two or 3 months. Well, this is late January, middle January. I bought them on the 11th. That was my birthday. I wonder what I was doing there on my birthday. Anyway, I bought them on the 11th. They probably got listed a week or two later, so they haven't been sitting too long, but I thought they would sell much quicker than that. But I only sold one yesterday or the day before, and then, or the last time I packed, and then this one right now. Sometimes it seems like on eBay you have to sort of break a seal. Like if you have a bunch of a certain type of thing, they don't sell, and they don't sell, and then once one sells, they all start going out. So hopefully that will happen with these books, because they are taking up a lot of room too, and I'm ready for them to start moving. I only paid 85 cents for it. I sold it for $12.99 plus shipping, so not a huge sale here, but it's okay. Oh, this is only 8 ounces, and that's going to be about 10 by 10 by 1, and it's going to MAST. This guy has a lot of names and he lives in Texas. Okay, we have this little guy. Is his name Bowser, I think, from Super Mario Brothers. So I got a Super Mario Brothers Monopoly. It's like, I think it's called Gamer Monopoly Super Mario Brothers Edition or something like on those lines. And I bought it at Unique. What did I pay for it? I paid quite a bit for it, maybe $4 to $6 for the game, and then it was selling for about 40 or 50 maybe. And when I got it home, of course, a bunch of the pieces were missing. But I'm not in the market of finding replacement pieces for people to buy to add to my inventory. But if I spend money on a board game and I get it home and find out that it's incomplete, I'm probably gonna part it out, whatever's left over, and try to get my money back at least. In this case, I listed just the empty box that it came in. I listed all of these characters. There's, Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, all of those characters. I listed all of those. I listed probably the dice. I think I sold those dice. I separated it all out. Maybe I got 15 or 20 listings out of that box. And then I thought maybe somebody would buy the box, just buy the box on its own. And so I did sell that box, and that sold almost immediately upon listing. And it sold, that sale was enough to pay for the whole thing. And I've had so many people asking me about this Bowser, so I think this is the one to get. This is the one that people want. You know, the other characters are not as valuable for some reason. So most people have been asking me, do you have the Bowser card to go with it? So there's cards for each of the characters, and I had them listed as a separate listing, all of those cards together. And so people would ask me, do you have the card? And I didn't really want to take those listings down and separate them out. So I would just tell them I have it as a separate listing, and then nobody would ever buy it. So I was just looking at these earlier this week thinking maybe I should take all of these listings down, sell the cards along with the characters, and maybe I'll get them to move. And then this one sold before I had a chance to do that. So that's my cost of goods on this is 60 cents. I sold it for $15.04 plus shipping. Okay, this is next. I'm not going to take this out of the box because it's in a styrofoam container, and the styrofoam is a little bit worse for wear. Each time I've taken it out of here, it's like spread a lot of stuff around and made the integrity of the box weaker. So I'm not going to take it out, but it's one of these. It's like a Christmas village, but it's for Easter, and it has these rabbit characters, Easter bunny characters, and it is called, what is it called? Hop Along Hollow. There was, I'm assuming somebody bought this because Easter is on the way. Oh, okay, I gotta find a good box for that. Let me take my measuring tape with me. So this has got to be 15 by 11. So I need to find a box at least that big. All of my like awkward, unusual size boxes, I've just been throwing them in here. This is 16 by 15. This one will do. So I got this at a Wings resale shop. In what time? When did I get that? February 15th. So just about a month ago. Probably got listed about a month ago. Let's see, how tall do I want this? I'm going to shorten this box by about that much. So I only went to that wing store. This was the first time I ever went there, and a lot of their stuff was way overpriced. Like if it sells for $25 on eBay, they have it priced at $45. So way overpriced there. I did manage to find a few good things. This I only paid $5.50 for, and I sold it for $39 plus shipping. And that day I probably brought home 8 to 10 items from that store. And one of them is a Harry Potter book that has a pretty major error in it. And I think I bought it. I think they sold it to me for $1.50. And there's not a lot of sales history on that book, that one with the error, but there was one that sold for $1,000. And it wasn't in the best condition. So I listed mine for $1,200. I think it's probably pie in the sky. I'm just like hoping that the right person will come along and want to buy this weird book. The error that's in it is something where the editor of the book took some liberties and changed like actually some plot points. And then when the author, J.K. Rowling, found out about it, she demanded that all those books be pulled and reprinted. So this one is relatively rare, I guess. Since this is kind of falling apart a little, I'm gonna wrap it with this stretch wrap real quick. So I'm hoping to get $1,200 for that book, but I'm not counting on it. I was just thinking last night, is it worth it to send out offers for a $1,200 item? Should I send out 10% off offers, or is that going to be, like, if somebody can spend $1,200 on a Harry Potter book, are they really going to care if they spend $1,000? You know, if they save $200. So it's sitting there. I'll probably, you know, over time, I'll just lower the price $100 here and there and see if it gets any action. I mean, I only paid, what did I say, $1.50 or something. So if I sold it for $20, it would be a profit for me. That would be a win. But if I could sell it for $1,200, that would be, you know, that would feel good. Okay, I can feel some stuff moving inside here when I flip it around, but each of these bunnies are in their own little compartment, so I think it should be safe. Okay, I need this paper. It's a little too thick. Too tall now. That'll fit in there. I'm just going to put these flaps back in here to give this box a little bit more structure. This one should go over here. By the time I close it up and seal it, it's going to be plenty stable, but I might as well double wall it. There's no reason not to, except for weight. Okay. Well, gotta get, if I'm gonna put them in, I gotta put them in all the way. There we go. Looks like I resized that a little bit too short for all that paper that I put in there. So these, I'm just going to use this as a resizer. Give it a bending point, like a little crease. Okay, good. This box says UPS small security case. And I'm definitely going to take this to the post office, so hopefully that's fine. You know, I know the post office is struggling right now, and I've been hearing so many stories of people having lost packages or delayed for months packages. And I'm knocking on wood that I really haven't had any issues in quite a while. Probably since I probably haven't had a lost package or a slowed down, you know, significantly slowed down package since Christmas season, when obviously there's a lot of slowdowns. And I know what's going on at the post office is, I mean, I don't hold anybody that works there accountable for the issues they're having. They're just hardworking carriers and clerks and whoever, sorters, who are just doing the best they can. But I don't know what the solution is. It seems like the writing is on the wall that they're trying to shut the whole thing down, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be successful. Which would be a shame. You know, UPS and FedEx are great, but they do not deliver to people in super rural areas. That those people deserve to have their packages delivered as much as anyone else. And I mean, we've our United States Postal Service has been doing very well for a long time, and they should just leave them alone and let them do their job, give them the funding that they need. Okay. I'm going to write on here, bunnies. Bunny. This is going to weigh 4 pounds, 12 ounces. And it is 16 by 13 by 7. It's going to LC in Georgia, not too far. That's not too far. Okay, let's just double check to make sure that auction didn't get paid for, and I'm pretty sure it did not. And I have a bad feeling that it's not going to, and I'm going to have to relist it. I think they give you 4 days to pay, and then I can relist. But I really want this money this month because, like I said, I've got a goal I'm trying to reach. Right now, if I include this money, I've reached that goal. But if I lose this $100, then I did not reach that goal. Okay, let's get this done as fast as possible. We're at 45 minutes here. We'll try to get it done in less than 15 minutes. I'm gonna put everything in order quickly. Okay, radio. The stool comes next. That's over there. Stool. If I put them in order, it makes it go quicker and there's less chance of screwing things up once I print the labels. Jersey is on the bottom. The Sideshow Collectibles next. This guy next. Oshi, Bowser, Hop Along Bunnies. Okay, we're all set. Let's get our computer. We'll buy some labels. Don't lose that marker. I need that. Oh, I dropped it 3 times. I had some big, thick markers, and I don't know what I did with them. I had 3 of them, and now I'm going to have to find some more of those. Okay, let's go to the notification bell. Paid, ship now. This is the bulk label purchasing tool. And this is 2 pounds 9 ounces for these radio magazines. The box is 9 by 7 by 4. And Ground Advantage is $6.45. Let's put it into the spreadsheet and we'll see exactly how much money we made on these magazines. I'm sure I have recouped my investment on them by now. Oh no, I didn't put it in the spreadsheet yet. Okay, now we got to pull it from. This is going to take a little second. Okay, antique radio classifieds 1990. That's it right there. I have one sheet for everything that's listed in my shop, and then one sheet for each month of the year where I move stuff from one to the other. And it's a little bit more labor intensive than I like, and so probably this will be the last year that I do it this way. I'm just going to have to start counting money that comes in and money that goes out, and not be doing these individual sales. This way I see how much I made on each item, which is really only for fun. It's not necessary to know this for accounting or anything. Okay, $20. I have to put in how much I sold it for, $20, and then how much the shipping is, which is $7. This is what they paid for shipping, $7.53. Then we put in what the eBay fees are, which is $3.67 on this sale. I already have listed the item cost, what I paid for it, which was $3.24. And then I have another column here for eBay's promotional fees. In this case, it is 0. There was no promotional fee on this. And then $6.45 was the shipping label. Okay, so we made $10.31 on this package right here. Okay, let's go. Now we should be able to go a little smoother. Okay, Costco stool, 4 pounds, 15 ounces. It's under 5 pounds, so that should do us well. 19 by 15 by 5. Ground Advantage is $8.20. FedEx is $7.30. No, I'm just gonna do the $8.20. That way I don't have to. I could save $1 by doing that, but then I would have to go to the FedEx office, and that's worth my time to do that is worth more than $1. So in this case, after fees and everything, we made $34.52 on that stool. So that's not nothing. We'll take 35 bucks. Okay, the glucose thing is 1 pound. Where's my... Oh, I'm on the wrong page. The glucose thing is 1 pound, 14 ounces, 12 by 10 by 4, 12 by 10 by 5 I have in there. It's probably the same. $7.67 to ship that to MD. Is that Maryland? I think that's Maryland. So that package earned $53.27. I'm going to close this right now because it keeps confusing me. Okay, so Jersey is 10 ounces, 11 by 2. 10 ounces, 11 by 2. Ground Advantage, $5.62. That is going to be in the shipping cost column, and that jersey earned $20.77. It only took a year and a half to get there. Okay, the Slideshow collectibles, 1 pound, 1 ounce. I wish that was a little bit lighter because I only charged them for 12 ounces. 1 pound, 1 ounce. It's 11 by 10 by 1. $5.38. They paid $5.10, so we're not far off. But for something we're not making any money on, it's not great. $3.40 profit on that. Okay. Oshi, this is a manga book. 8 ounces only. 10 by 10 by 1. And Ground Advantage is $4.62. It doesn't even give me the option for medium mail. I'm not sure why. I mean, it is a book, but I guess there's some questionable stuff about comics that have advertisements in them. So this book earned $10.51. Okay. Bowser. Is Bowser the same as King Koopa? Is that the same guy? 6 by 5 by 5. That's what I have. Ground Advantage. $3.98. Anytime it's under $4, it's probably very nearby. And in this case, it looks like Wisconsin. So that's pretty close here to Chicago. 2007 Monopoly Gamer. It's called. $14.60 we earned on that little figure. And then the final one, Hop Along. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. I'm keeping this under an hour tonight. 16 by 3 by 7. And that's $7.36. This buyer paid just a little over $10, so we will be making a little money on the back end, the shipping label. And then I have a column here for or a row rather, for these Nintendo Switch games. So I'm hoping this will get paid for tonight so I can leave it here and count this in today's profits. If that's the case, we've made $282.07 today. If that moves on tomorrow, then we'll be a little less, 180 instead of 280. But I'm leaving it there for now, keeping my fingers crossed that we'll get paid for this. Right now, I'm going to purchase these labels and get them put on all the boxes. But I'm going to call it for you. You don't have to watch me do that. Probably shouldn't watch me do that anyway. And then thanks for watching. We will be back. Certainly we'll be back tomorrow with another packing video. I've been working on some other types of videos, and so keep an eye out for those. Until tomorrow, have a great night, and we'll see you soon.